Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the opening event of this year's symposium for the launch, including the launch of the website. It's wonderful to have you with us, whether you're going to be joining us at St Catz, or you're going to be coming in online, or if you're still deciding that you want to take part, we're just very, very glad that you're here. So today is very much just an introduction to what's going to be going on, what we've all got planned for you. And one of the things that that we're addressing is that all of us are contributing to shaping and defining what we mean by poverty food. It's a topic that's by its very nature is challenging, and at times is uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it matters and why your voices and perspectives are so important in helping us define it. So, thank you for being part of this. You can see everybody's in all lined up, all ready to go to introduce their various bits. We're going to be starting off with Priya and Ollie, and who are going to take us through the all new symposium website. It's a key piece in connecting us all, whether we're at St Catz or we're online or just curious. And Priya's been working with Ollie and the Igloo team for the first time on this, and together they have brought it to life. So over to you two guys.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, really excited to show you the website that we've been working with Priya on, and to show you also kind of how to get online and how to find all the information that's available there. So yeah, we've been working this year on the subject of poverty food, which is a really challenging subject to present. It's always really important to get something celebratory about the start of the Oxford Symposium and the big welcome. At the same time, inherently the subject matter this year is slightly less celebratory. So yeah, we've really appreciated having Priya's help and some absolutely fantastic design work that she's done, and some really great ideas. Priya, before I sort of dive into how to get online, do you want to say anything about this year? Oh, you're still muted. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. So great to see you all here, and looking forward to meeting most of you in Oxford this year. I think we should go rewind a few weeks ago, right, Ollie, when we made the poster. I think it all starts there. So in response to the theme of poverty food, we shifted the emphasis away from an aesthetic of lack and one towards a value, resilience, and ingenuity. And this is sort of the DNA that the microsite or the website that you're going to see now also inherits. So we've drawn upon lots of fabric and stitched elements. The approach reflects practices of mending, piecing together, and making do, stretching resources. And I think all of us here feel that these are skills that closely parallel the way in which food is stretched, repurposed, and transformed under conditions of constraint. And I think if you look at the website and the poster, which is, by the way, it's on the website and it's also on our Instagram feed. We are Oxford Food Symposium on Instagram. You can look us up there if you don't follow us already. The poster is also there, and that's a great starting point to start viewing the website today, I think. Right, Ollie?
Yeah, great. Absolutely. I think that balance, the balance between acknowledging absolute poverty, but also the exciting foods that have come out of times of poverty is a really interesting one to explore. And looking at the papers has been really, really fascinating for us. I'll try and talk you. A lot of you are probably familiar with getting online and using the website now and getting information from it. But I'll talk you through it from the start, just so that you know what you're doing. We haven't launched the site yet. I believe that's happening tomorrow morning. So some of the links and things on the main site are not there yet, but tomorrow I'll show you where they will be, and I'll give you an idea of how to get online. The first piece of the puzzle is that even if you didn't buy the ticket, everyone who has a place at the symposium should have been sent a ticket to their email address. That email address is key, because that is the email address that when you create an account at Oxford Symposium, or if you already have an account, if you use that email address to log in, you should be able to access the 2026 symposium. So it's very important that you use the right email address. So take a look in your emails, find the ticket, and it should have on there the email address that the ticket is for. I'll share my screen now. So the first things first is there's a special area for the 2026 symposiasts, and to find it, there will be a link here. It will replace the overview of the 2025 symposium. So as soon as you go on the Oxford Symposium website, there'll be a link to access the 2026 microsite. Also, if you go to the next symposium page, so if you use the menu up here and go to the next symposium, there'll be a link on this page. And finally, as well, on the All Symposiums page by 2026 Poverty Food here, there'll be a link to the online website here as well. So you can access it from anywhere, essentially, where the 2026 symposium is mentioned. Once you get online, you'll be taken to the website. It's a little bit smaller than it was last year. So there's slightly less pages, but I think that's actually going to be really great for you guys, because I think the information is more packed in and easier to find than ever. You can already see it behind David in the background, but to reveal the lovely design of Priya, this is the new foyer of the symposium. You can scroll down, and there's a little bit of an introduction to what you can find and the topic. And then also here we have the papers collated together into sort of areas of interest, essentially. I won't go too slow. I'll let you explore this in your own time. And as we scroll down towards the bottom, there's also a few links here to key areas. At the moment, we've got the program, the papers, and the presentations, but keep an eye out here at the bottom. There will also be a link to two other really important parts of the website. At the very bottom of this foyer page, there will be a link to the other symposiasts. So if you want to see anyone else who is at the symposium or has a ticket, and also for the 2029 topic selection, that will be here as well. Yeah, if you want to get involved online in that discussion, that will obviously be the discussion at the symposium at the weekend. But if you want to have a look online and discuss anything, those will be there. The menu is much reduced this year. We've just got three main links: the papers, the program, and the presentations. The papers this year, same as previous years, you can click into here and you can see a list of all of the papers. You can download each paper as a PDF, view the event that it's associated with, and you can download the full proceedings, which is the entire set. The program is where you can go to see the list of events at the symposium this year. So there's less events afterwards. But you can see here the physical symposium at St Catz the weekend. You can see all the events here and dive in and have a look through and plan which of the parallel sessions you're going to attend. Yeah, looking forward for you guys to be able to dive in that. That's actually available earlier than any previous year. Thank you very much. And then finally, once they're released on, I forget the date, the 13th, I believe, you'll be able to view the presentations here, which will be the keynotes, which I think are being recorded at Oxford, and also all of the pre-recorded presentations by the symposiasts. Yeah, anything that you missed, you can catch up with here, and people with an online symposium ticket will be able to take a look at the presentations there as well. Apart from that, I believe, and David or Priya might want to jump in and just confirm that I'm correct, but I believe that the topic selection on the Sunday afternoon is going to be a live event. Is that right, David?
That's correct. We're organizing this for the first time. People are going to be able to, providing you've got a ticket for the online symposium, it's really going to be the launch date of the online symposium on the Sunday, and people will get a chance to submit topics for 2029. And we're also going to be having the vote at Oxford, but also in conjunction with people online. So it'll be the first time that we're going to do it. And of course, we shall do it with their usual exuberance from I can get it right, but we'll do a good job of it anyway.
Great. So yeah, I'm sure some people will have some questions, and if you fire them away in the chat, we might get onto them at some point in the proceedings. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy looking at the work that's been done by amazing Priya with her great design work, and also yeah, by my team getting it working on different sizes and getting it all implemented and ready for the symposium. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a fab time, and I'll hand back over to David or Priya if you want to say another word before we say goodbye. Oh, you're muted again. Sorry, Priya.
Sorry, I think before I hand over to David, if I can just remind people, if you would like to, in case you're documenting your journey to Oxford, coming over to the symposium and you're posting on Instagram, please tag us, or you can also add the hashtag Oxford Food Symposium 2026, so that we can repost and we can amplify the outreach. But yeah, please go ahead and share your journey with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Priya, and thank you very much, Ollie. And phenomenal work, and as so organized, and meeting all our deadlines, and no panicking from people that are anyway, we'll move swiftly on there. All this program really has put together by the hard work of Kathy and Janet and Mark to get this all together. Cameron as well. We'll come to Cameron just in a moment, but just for the moment, we're going to be hearing more about the papers, the schedule, and possibly some surprises. I don't know. Let's find out.
David, would you like me to begin?
I think so.
All right. Well, welcome everyone, and particularly for the first-time symposius, if you've never been to Oxford either online or physically at St Catz, I think and hope you're really going to be in for a very wonderful experience. And I also want to apologize in advance for inexplicable reasons. My computer is acting up, so if I freeze, I'm told that my voice carries, but I hope that it's not in a particularly unpleasant expression. I'm going to speak a little bit about the overall flow of the symposium and what you can expect in some of the more general events. I'm then going to defer to Janet, who is our programmer, who had the arduous but I hope rewarding task of trying to put papers together into panels, notwithstanding a few challenges along the way. And Mark, of course, as our editor, who has been in touch about all of the requirements for drafts, revisions, videos, etc. So I will let those experts address that. The idea, though, when you come to the symposium, we are a very friendly group. We try and be as open and warm to especially newcomers. But should you have any questions, you will be able to find any of the trustees who will be able to help you, and you will be given on your arrival at St. Catherine's a welcome package that will explain a lot of the details. We've got 3 fabulous keynotes planned for you. One will deal with cultural issues surrounding poverty food. One will deal more with activism and food systems surrounding poverty food. And the last will deal with some very on-the-ground solutions, including agricultural solutions to eliminating hunger in various parts of the world. In addition to that, we will have 2 roundtable conversations. One, again, bringing in on-the-ground experience about dignity and empowerment for those with access to fewer economic resources. And then, because we are the Oxford Symposium on Food and Cookery, and cookery is a critical aspect of poverty food, we're going to have a roundtable about the traditions of poverty food in different cultures. Beyond that, we have after dinner activities. Priya hinted a little bit about one with stitching, a sewing circle. You'll be getting information in an email tomorrow, but should you be so inclined to sit and work on a community sewing project, perhaps bring a few scraps and join us. If you're not so inclined to sitting and stitching, well, We do have a lovely bar to repair too. Or we've got videos on both Friday and Saturday night. Friday night, I am really thrilled to say we are able to close to premiere a brand new documentary that premiered less than a month ago at the Tribeca Film Festival called How to Feed a Dictator. It brings in five cooks or chefs from five of the most horrendous dictators you can think of. We're talking about Pol Pot. We are talking about Kim Jong-un. We are talking about Pinochet, et cetera, et cetera. These cooks survived the dictatorships and they are sharing their experiences. It's a very unsettling discussion, to say the least, with people who have been in such challenging environments and survived to tell the tale. So I hope at least some of you will be interested in screening that. On Sunday, we are going to have a fabulous Sunday afternoon. The entire Sunday afternoon post lunch will be live streamed. So you online symposius, block out about 2.5, 3 hours worth of time to join us. We are going to have a wonderful literary performance has been put together by one of our symposiasts. I won't give you any more details. You'll have to be curious. But I've seen drafts. It is brilliant, to say the least. We will then have a conversation with the BBC's Four's food program journalist, Dan Saladino. Dan visited with us last year to cover the symposium, and I guess he had a good enough time that he wanted to come back this year and actually participate. So we are just extremely thrilled to have that. And then, of course, we will have the vote for our topic for 2029. Instructions will be up on the website. But that's the overall lay of the land. Just know that we are so thrilled that you are all here and that many of you, at least, will be first timers. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Janet to talk a little bit about the papers specifically.
Thank you, Kathy. Um, I just have to preface all this by adding, echoing Kathy, that for all of you who are our first timers, you are really in for a treat. The symposium is different from most academic conferences that some of you may have been to. Let me count the ways. It's more informal. It's more interactive. It's friendlier than many. It's certainly zanier. And the food is much better. You'll meet an eclectic mix of people, among whom I promise there'll be many new friends. We break bread together, and as we do that, we break boundaries. Not too many boundaries, but I promise you'll think a lot through listening to speakers on panels and roundtables and plenary sessions, watching films, and in between, you'll most likely debate and discuss a huge panorama of ideas and maybe change your mind about some. So now on to some fine-tuning details about how the paper panels work. The written papers, as I think has been mentioned, but you can't say it enough, they'll be available on the website as of tomorrow. Many attendees, and I encourage you to do this, many attendees will have read them before reaching OFS grounds. Ideally, your St. Catz presentation, if you're doing one, will be more informal than the written paper. Won't be a replication of it, but could be an exploration of one particular part of your initiating motivation, what led you to the research, or thinking onward and beyond, really whatever you'd like. But, just a word that spoken papers tend to be more accessible to listeners than just reading off, pages that have already been written. A word on the makeup of the panels. So under the banner of one overriding and very complex topic, poverty food, We have 31, I believe is the count now, Kathy, 31 accepted papers that cover many different aspects, many nuances of the ways that food and poverty come together, interact, and sometimes collide. Some of the problematics underlying the panels have to do with, and I'm shooting off a list, there are many ways of reframing this, but famine, war, state and social policy, power, nutrition, hierarchies, reevaluating and revaluing all kinds of things, specific foods, diets, hierarchies, and so on. Religious ritual, transformations of many kinds, social and thought systems, transforming food, creativity, agriculture, climate change, uh, humanitarian aid, charity, sanctimony, and paternalism, future foods, creativity, again, I want to emphasize. Um, the papers on your particular panel may not address the very same topic. They may be conceived from varying perspectives. The papers are grouped together with a view mostly toward how they talk to each other, how they interact, how they raise problems for further discussion, how they incite thought and debate. So that's for starters. I'm very happy to answer questions about that if there are any. Uh, that's about it. Kathy, am I forgetting anything?
I
I
think that's
think
well
so.
covered.
I just wanted, we've got 31 presentations at Oxford plus 4 exclusively online that will be able to join a Q&A in the fall via Zoom. Just don't want to short any of our wonderful online presenters who, for whatever reason, could not make it.
Thank you.
So I'll just echo a few of the things that Janet said, and also maybe also pick up on some things David said earlier and that Ollie mentioned as well. I want to repeat Janet's call for reading the papers before you come to Oxford if you can. For those of us coming from far away, it's a wonderful thing to do on the plane. That approach is relatively unusual, and it frees up our presenters to riff on their topics. It also builds for much more informed question and answer sessions, really deep discussions. So I really encourage you to do that. I also want to remind you the video presentations have been mentioned a couple of times. That will let us not only see the presentations that will be from the 4 folks who can't come to Oxford, but also to catch presentations that we missed because we were in another room. So no regret. You can catch up. And I'll pick up on some papers. We have papers from many different disciplines, many different geographies, many different timelines. There's so many fascinating connections across those categories. I actually haven't seen the program yet. I can't wait to see the ones that Janet's found. I'll just throw out some more specific things. We have papers on pudding evangelism, multiple takes on the sweet potato, pumpkins and parsnips, and an awful lot of politics, shared identities and communities and memory and nostalgia, shifting conceptions of what we might think of now as luxury foods like beef and oysters. There's seaweed, there's breadfruit, there's a lot of economics. We've got papers covering Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Japan, India, Iran, Korea, Israel, not to mention the UK and the US, across at least 2 millennia, maybe another one, depending on how you count. And so I'm really excited about where we're going and what we have, the conversations we have about what's a really important topic. I was actually thrilled when this was chosen several years ago. That topic selection reminds us of how important the concluding session on the Sunday will be when we choose the topic for 2029. We are shaping the future in the present. I want to just end my little spiel by thanking particularly all the authors, but I also want to thank everyone who sent in proposals. We had an amazingly rich pool. And I want to also thank everyone who's coming. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of new people and having some amazing conversations.
Over to you, David.
Hey, back again. Thank you very much for that. You know, you just reminded me, I saw a question about that Eden asked about, does the in-person ticket include the later online activities? Yes, it most certainly does. And there is a special this year where, thanks to our friends at Equinox, the digital proceedings will be available to all symposiasts whenever they come out in 2027. So that's whenever,
It'll
whatever. Hmm?
it'll be they'll come out right at the beginning of July 2027.
Ah, there we go.
And the proceedings in both digital and paper form and printed form for last year's symposium should be available before we convene in Oxford. They're in print as we speak.
Yep. Well, I think I booked in the delivery today, Mark. So I'm hoping they're
Ooh.
going to be there on the Wednesday. So thank you very much for our wonderful programmers and editor and chair of the symposium. So I'm going to unceremoniously remove you now, and just all this talk about food brings us to Cameron. And just to remind everyone as well that. I'm going to say this now, and I'll probably put it into the chat. Non-residential weekend tickets are still available. That's for the whole weekend, not including accommodation at St Catz. Tomorrow, day tickets are going to be on sale. There will be a limited number of these and also a limited number of individual meal tickets available for symposiasts at St Catz to invite their guests. If you want to find out about those, then just email me at info@oxfordsymposium.co.uk. If you were undecided and then decided that you want to come to the symposium, there's always a few last minute cancellations. So again, if you want to come for the weekend, just drop me a line and I'll see what I can do about getting you in. And so I'm going to be turning over to food. Cameron is going to introduce what's going on with regards to food. And also with regards to the young chefs, he's playing a double-hander. Unfortunately, Elaine, due to a bereavement, is not going to be able to be with us this year. Our heart goes out to her, and our thoughts are with her. But Cameron, would you like to tell us all the wonderful things which you have been planning behind everyone's back?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing old faces and to meet new faces. So my name's Cameron. I am the meal and drinks coordinator. So I work with the guest chefs and coordinate with Chef Tim Kelsey and his team, and Effie and Fairhat, the bar manager for the drinks and food. So this year we are going to look at different themes from considering the health of the soil and thinking about soil poverty with different modern agricultural practices, but thinking about regenerative farming and different ways that we can treat our soil that can lead to a better personal health and then community health. So some of the meals will be focusing on that. We'll be looking at things like just resourcefulness in the kitchen. How do you make do with what you have if you have a limited pantry? Thinking about no waste cooking. Sorry, I've got a dog that might act up here. Thinking about whole systems where nose to tail, root to fruit, closed loop systems. We're looking at foraging, at nomadic lifestyle. So making do with what you have if you're living a nomadic lifestyle, figuring different ways to repurpose waste or leftovers or cooking techniques, one pot cooking, working with simple basic ingredients from different communities. So in a sense, we're just looking at the kind of the art of making do with different cooking styles from around the world. And so we have some new and old symposiasts who are involved in that. From the drink side, this year it's the UN is the International Year of the Women Farmer. So I've decided to help look at winemakers where either the vineyard or the winemaker or say the agricultural operation are led by women. So to tie in with that this year, we've done that for drinks. And we have some other different aspects of where something that maybe was considered waste has been repurposed and made into something else. So whether that's with the meals or the drinks. This year we have a lovely group of young chefs that are joining us. We have one that is Turkish, one that is Ukrainian, and one that is British, Black American, and Jamaican in heritage. And so they're bringing their flavors together. And what they are looking at is looking at the concept of a public, that's my dog, of a public restaurant. And so they're going to do their model of what a public restaurant could be. So I'm really looking forward to them implementing that. We also have, last year we had the salt table. And sorry, I'm just going to have to get this dog for a minute. Just give me a minute.
No problem. This is sort of like schoolboy kitchen table hour. Always make sure pets are out of the room, as well as small children. They're just too distracting. In the meantime, here's Cameron's back again, so I don't have to
Okay,
go
I'm
any
back. I
further.
gave her a treat. Okay. So last year we had the salt table where people were bringing different salts from around the world, and we could explore that aspect. This year, Birgitta and I have come up with the idea of flavor enhancers or condiments. So things that maybe can help you stretch a simple meal for a smaller amount of people to more, or things that take a simple meal that maybe needs some flavor enhancements. So we're looking at things could be spice blends, or it could be pastes or something fermented, but something that where a little bit, goes a long way to stretch a meal, whether it be flavor wise or whether it be, I guess portion wise. So we're going to be sending out more information about that. One thing that you should be aware of if you're bringing something is think about how you're traveling or where you're coming from. So look at regulations, whether it be, can it go in hand luggage, or does it need to be going into the hold in your larger luggage? Think about those type of things, but we're going to be having that. And we have your list. If you have dietary restrictions, have no worry. Myself and Chef Tim have been looking at those and seeing how we can provide you with still a really great meal that's tied into the theme of each meal, despite having certain dietary restrictions, so that you get to experience that. And if you see me on the weekend, don't hesitate to ask any questions about the meals and so forth. But we're looking forward to seeing all of you there and getting a taste of the meals this year. So thanks, David.
Thank you very much, Cameron, and a sterling job. I think it's amazing pulling all this together, and I know the team at St Catz, love working with you, as do all the, as do all the chefs. It's a highlight, of the symposium and an integral part of it as well. As are the proceedings. We mentioned about the booksellers Equinox that are going to be there with them, all of their volumes, including the proceedings. But those are printed thanks to an organization called RINRI, Institute of Ethics, from Japan, who contribute towards the publication of the proceedings. And our other big donors are the American Friends of the Oxford Symposium. And I would like to call in now our esteemed colleague, Mary Margaret, if I can find Mary Margaret. There we go. Who's going to tell us some more about the sterling work that the American Friends do. Thank you, Mary Margaret.
Well, that was a super nice introduction, and I will not take 10 minutes of your time because the American Friends is fairly self-explanatory. It is I think it's a 501c3 organization that was set up so that Americans could give, tax exempt gifts to the symposium in the beginning. It has become so much more than that, as I have learned in my one almost year on the board. So I am the newbie here. I shouldn't even be speaking here, but here I am. Because, and this is where it's great that I'm following Cameron, because he was talking about the young chefs, and the American Friends support the Young Chefs program. The American Friends also help administer the grant from the Julia Child Foundation. It just makes it really easier when two American organizations trade things. This year, we are also supporting 19 student grants for the students who are coming, and 3 financial aid support grants. So, I discovered all of this really in the past year, and I'm very proud to be able to say that we have, the ability to support these people in the way that we can. Um, and really the focus of the American Friends is outreach and support and bringing people in. And this is something that has been part of our discussions recently. So there are a couple of things that I'm going to be doing at this symposium. The first is I get to hang out with David all day on Friday at the registration because part of the outreach is to meet the new people coming, to be able to meet the students firsthand, introduce myself, and make you feel welcome because I remember how scary it was to come to the symposium for the first time, knowing no one. And then the second thing I'm doing is, and this is both are completely informal, although David is stuck with me, um, is the Saturday morning, I'm going to sort of set aside a table for anyone new who is arriving at the symposium, whether they be students or new presenters. And I don't know, put up a folded piece of paper that says, come join me here, so that people have some place to eat and someone to eat with on the first day. I'll probably do the same thing on Friday morning for anybody who's there early, because that way we at the American Friends and I personally get to find all about you. And anyone else who's even, symposiast habitués are more than welcome to join and get to meet the new people. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And back to somebody who's really important.
I don't know who that's going to be, but I'm going to jump in anyway. And I'm going to say that we said this was going to be a sneak preview. We have heard that St Catz, as well as ourselves, is going to have a rather large group of their students attending this year. Now, what we are suggesting for all of our people is to make sure that you get to breakfast by 8 o'clock at the very, very latest to get into the front of the queue so that it won't impact on the rest of our day. I also, you mentioned there about new people that are coming along, Mary Margaret, and I haven't actually had this person lined up, but I feel like I need to bring in um, one of our biggest supporters, I would say, who is Nader, who wasn't expecting that, but Nader, because Nader has offered a wonderful gift on the Friday 3 p.m. Nader, over to you.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. I'm going to follow up on the message that both Kathy and Mary Margaret just been sharing with us about welcoming newcomers. So Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, those who are visiting St Catz for the first time, whether you are a newcomer to the symposium or first-time physical visitors to the symposium, my wife and I will take you on a walking tour of the St Catz campus, just showing you what everything is, where to find things, how to get lost, and how you find yourself, etc. So come and meet me 3 o'clock at the Porter's Lodge. Thanks, David.
Thank you very much, Nader. Just to clarify, that's Friday afternoon, not Saturday afternoon. But that also, mentioning Friday afternoon means I think that there's quite a significant number of people that are going to be arriving on Thursday. So I don't know if we will have registration open at that time or whether I will be running around like an idiot trying to get things sorted out. But we'll try to get things, do check out. I mean, a lot of the people that you see here will be the people that will be around. Make yourself known to them, and we'll see what can be done. And I think is there anyone else has any questions or would like to come in? Please raise your hand to come in to say hello or to ask a question. If not, I think one person we haven't heard from is Rick, and I think it was remiss of me not to actually say, Rick, you need to come in and say hello. Where are you? Have you gone on the Chattanooga Choo Choo, or have you? There you are. I'm going to call you in here, Rick. Oh,
I'm here.
Okay. Do come in and say hello. Introduce yourself.
Can you see me? Am I highlighted? I'm Richard Shepro. I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you just as everyone else has, but I don't have anything special to add right now. And I think it's going to be a great session.
Absolutely
Thanks.
fantastic.
Thanks very much, David.
I see Christina has got, is there a meetup message board? There will be online. I'm not sure. Cameron was mentioning something about a notice board. The best thing to do is to wait and see, Christina. We'll be there and we can be the mess. A good meeting place is actually would be at the registration desk, on the Thursday, because we will be there, setting things up. And then we can take it from there. So are there any other, let me see if I got any messages here. Are there any other people that would wanted to come in or had any questions? Nope. So everybody knows everything. Isn't that fantastic? We can all take a breathe a sigh of relief now. Okay. Well, finally, just thank you all very much for attending this recording. Because I managed to find a piece of music that didn't involve having a copyright, is the recording is going to be released very, very soon. Hopefully later on this evening, and we'll put it up onto the website. You could share the link with it. And as I said, just let us know if you have any questions to info@oxfordsymposium.org.uk. A lot of the information will be on the website. Any information that is not on the website, let us know. We'll get it up, or we'll answer you, directly. And with that, I just wanted to say thank you all for taking the time to come here today, and we'll see you in a week. Well, almost a week's time. Thank you. I'll unmute you all here now so we can have a, where are we at? How do I do this? I can't remember. Everything's changed.
I can unmute myself.
I think everybody here can unmute themselves. They can, because everyone is Caroline can't. There we go, Carolyn, sorry. There we go.
It's so much better to see and hear everybody's faces when I know we're going to see each other so soon.
Yeah.
Mark, I'm sorry about your incident in the basement. That sounds horrendous.
No, it was exactly like you think it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying not